They're not talking like friends. They're not even talking like friends that are beefing. They're talking like strangers, like in a way.
Bayless underestimated that he needed Shannon Sharpe for that show to be successful.
Colossal mistake.
I know what people are gonna say immediately after viewing this video.
Mike, you're such a Skip Bayless hater. Why do you hate on Skip Bayless so much?
And it has nothing to do with that. I don't even think what I'd be doing would exist if it wasn't for Skip Bayless paving the way. Whether you like him or not, he is a legend in sports debate shows, and there's no question about it. But at some point or another, everyone has their time. And at some point or another, it might be best to walk away. Before we get to the content, we're on a race to 1 million subscribers with my basketball channel, The Flight Mike. He currently has like 38K subscribers on us. So if you want to help us beat me, make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, work! Look right over here, you'll see all of these wonderful human beings that have been able to make some money by playing Prize Picks. And I give away my picks for free each and every day on my Instagram at The Flight Mike and Snapchat at Flight Mike Snap. And right now they're hooking up my subscribers fat when you use my promo code Flight Mike when you sign up for Prize Picks. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. A lot of you were expecting the yearly April Fool's prank this year, and I didn't do it. The main reason I didn't do it is because we were so consumed bringing you guys real news and real content throughout the past month, and it was a little bit more than previous years that we couldn't really focus on creating some fake news just to prank you guys. And this isn't to say that I won't do it in the future, but it just felt a little bit forced this year, and I didn't want to create a bad prank, so we didn't do it this year. Plus, Vontae Davis passed away on that day, and I felt like it would just be in bad taste, which RIP to Vontae Davis. In the case of Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, they had a very tumultuous year over the past year, and it's almost the 1-year anniversary of when Shannon Sharpe officially left Undisputed. And at the time that this occurred, I said that this is a huge risk for Skip Bayless, but I knew for a fact that Shannon Sharpe was gonna be okay. Shannon Sharpe was the premier free agent in sports content, and he could do anything from podcasting to jumping over to First Take to really anything he wants, because he went to Undisputed, really boosted his popularity on Undisputed, created a brand for himself, and at that point he didn't really need Skip Bayless anymore. While the two were a fantastic duo without a doubt, and personally I think Skip and Shannon had more chemistry than Skip and Stephen A do, and that's nothing against Stephen A Smith because I have a lot of respect for him. The real concern I had when Shannon Sharpe left Undisputed was, what was Skip Bayless going to do? Skip Bayless caught lightning in a bottle when he originally created First Take with Stephen A Smith. The two had remarkable chemistry with one another. When Skip Bayless left First Take in 2016 to join Fox Sports and create Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe, it was already perceived as a huge risk. But the risk paid off in the biggest way possible. Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless were arguably a better tandem than Stephen A and Skip Bayless were. So when Shannon Sharpe decided to leave Skip Bayless as a result of the issues that they were having, and by the way, Skip Bayless reportedly pushed for the firing of Shannon Sharpe. It wasn't that Shannon Sharpe left. There was a huge question about what the future of Undisputed was going to look like. And to be honest, while it did seem promising at first, Undisputed kind of came off as an unorganized mess, as Skip Bayless didn't really find his new Shannon Sharpe to begin with. Rather, he had a revolving door of potential co-hosts to come in, including Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, Chris Broussard, Rachel Nichols, Lil Wayne. No, seriously, Lil Wayne would come in sometimes. And while I did praise Skip Bayless for bringing on Richard Sherman originally, and I did praise Richard Sherman for giving it a go, the ratings have been plummeting ever since. Meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe has done probably the greatest thing he could have done for his career. He decided to make regular appearances on First Take so he could guarantee himself that public national TV exposure that he was so used to. And on top of that, he would funnel that traffic to his podcast that is absolutely crushing it currently, Club Shay Shay. And Club Shay Shay is becoming more and more of a cultural phenomenon that is breaking out of just sports for Shannon Sharpe. People are treating Club Shay Shay as a version of the Rogan Experience. And if you take a look at the guests that Shannon Sharpe has been able to pull in, it's no surprise. Shannon Sharpe had guests like Dwayne Wade, Tyreek Hill, and most famously, the one interview that that completely changed everything for Shannon Sharpe, Cat Williams. Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and absolutely obliterated the universe. He called out every man there was to call out. He was calling out P. Diddy 2 months ago. The interview got 64 million views for Shannon Sharpe, but on top of that, Shannon Sharpe created a brand new show with Chad Ochocinco called Nightcap that already is over 1 million subscribers, and he just started it 5 months ago. This man is absolutely killing it on all cylinders. And when you compare Shannon Sharpe's multiple podcasts and shows to Skip Bayless's show and his podcast, things are just not looking good. I mean, take a look at the viewership for Skip Bayless's most recent uploads of his show. I mean, a lot of these are sub 1,000 views. And when you compare the views that Skip Bayless has been getting on his show to the views that Nightcap generates, which is over 200K, 100K, at the very worst 25K when they decide to talk about some NCAA women's basketball content, or even Club Shay Shay for that matter, there's just no comparison at all whatsoever. Now at this point you might be thinking,
Mike, these are just online shows and that's not what Skip Bayless is known for.
Well, the reason I'm making this video to begin with is Undisputed posts lowest audience since return from 2023 hiatus. The debate show averaged fewer than 50,000 viewers leading into the NCAA Sweet 16s. To give you an idea of how low that is, that's the amount of viewership that Pat McAfee gets on just YouTube alone, without ESPN and without the other broadcasts that he has. When a YouTube show on YouTube alone is out viewing you, then you clearly have a problem. So this article goes in and it says, things are just getting worse for Skip Bayless and Undisputed. The New Look panel show has already struggled to keep pace while the rest of Fox Sports 1's midday lineup surges. Now it's trending in the other direction entirely. Last Thursday, heading into the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournaments and towards the NBA playoffs and NFL draft, Undisputed averaged just 48,000 viewers during its mid-morning slot. That equals the smallest audience of any Undisputed broadcast since it returned from hiatus last September. And it goes more into the background of this situation, saying it was clear already that Fox had a problem on its hands when Bayless struggled to find a permanent co-host to replace Shannon Sharpe, and viewership lagged throughout the NFL season. But in the weeks since the Super Bowl, the situation has gone from bad to worse. Given that Bayless is one of the network's highest paid talents and Undisputed now involves a tangle of several panelists and rotating voices, things are looking bleak. Sports networks don't typically make significant changes until the dog days of the late summer, but it's hard to see Undisputed surviving the year in its current form, particularly with Bayless in the home stretch of his Fox contract and the rest of the FS1 lineup giving executives numerous solid options to pull from to rejigger the morning show. It hardly makes sense to keep giving Undisputed a lifeline. At the end of the day, man, the fact that Skip Bayless lasted this long and changed the game with sports debate is impressive in its own right, but at the end of the day, Father Time is undefeated. He's been doing this since the 1980s. He's currently 72 years old. At a specific point, it might be time to pull the plug and retire. Hell, Nick Saban retired this past year. The Patriots moved on from Bill Belichick. If it could happen to them, it certainly could happen to Skip Bayless. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way at all whatsoever. It was very risky to move on from Shannon Sharpe, and Skip Bayless has been struggling to find a new co-host ever since. Do you really want to go into a brand new venture with a brand new co-host while you're 72 years old at this point? Let's say you find another co-host. How long are you going to go till? Until you're 78, 79, 80? At a specific point, it's time to look at your career, respect what you did, be proud of the amount of money you made talking about sports, take a couple trips to Cancun and see the world, and call it a day. There's nothing to be ashamed of at this point. Shannon Sharpe is way younger and has way more left to achieve in this market than Skip Bayless does, so I don't really think it's fair to compare both of them. At the end of the day, I think we should look back at what Skip Bayless did for the sports debate show. The fact that he created this easily digestible, comical form of sports media where two individuals just yell at each other constantly. And while you don't always get top tier analysis from these shows, at the very minimum, you get some great entertainment. I personally think this might be the end of Skip Bayless, and if it is, then he had a remarkable career, and I honestly would thank him for all of his contributions in his career. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.